Rolling Tin Fist.
Hello, men. Well, we know who won the US election, and we're beginning to see some of that aftermath. But this video isn't really about politics per se, and not about good or bad, none of that stuff, but just the symbolism of this particular man winning the election. Outside of the political implications, fitness, all that stuff. I didn't vote for Trump, neither did I vote for Hillary. Independent, I'm a centrist, and I voted for someone else. And again, even that's not important because I've been doing this voting stuff long enough to know that where I live would definitely go red, and I would be fine with either outcome of the election, because ultimately, no matter who wins, and I tell family members this, especially now, friends, even my children, no matter who wins, and even before, President Obama gave his speech, I told, my kids, I said, look, tomorrow we're going to do, this was Tuesday, I said, tomorrow we're going to do what we always do. We're going to get up, we're going to have breakfast, we're going to pray, we're going to get ready for school, I'm going to drive you guys to school. I'm going to give you hugs, wish you well, pray for a great day, go to work and all that stuff. And so life will still go on. The sun will still rise. But back to my point, I couldn't help but feel really validated as a man, as a red pill man. I mean, even though I'm married, but just the feeling like I got one of my balls back. And there was a part of me that I didn't really fully acknowledge until after the election that kept thinking, okay, my prediction was that Hillary would win by about 4 points, but I said to myself, like deep inside, what if he won? Like, what if? And I actually was looking at the maps in this article. I can't remember what magazine it's from, but just thought it was funny because the writer was saying, oh, this will not ever happen, but let's just see how could Trump win. And so I actually looked at that article, and I looked at the 4 different maps, and I said, unlikely, but not like crazy, not like, pie in the sky. And so Tuesday night, I was looking at the map again, and then I thought, okay, this is even less crazy than before. But fast forward afterwards, I just felt really great at work Wednesday morning for the first time in a long time, because the gynocracy where I work is, my particular division is headed by women, right? And one more just got added over the summer. And let's be clear, I've worked for women executives before. The difference between the ones I've worked with before and the ones now is the ones I worked before were usually older, like over 50 or over 55. So they had lived some life. They'd, actually had to prove themselves to get to where they were. Whereas this generation, those, I would say, slightly younger than me and younger, basically were able to do a little bit of work to fast track into management and then start, practicing, cronyism and getting their people in key places. And so anyway, the change in the division has just been one bad decision or emotional based decision after the other. Nothing based on basically fact, logic, data. And so it just has slowly over the last few years become just a pain in the ass place to do things and just innovate and just really make change happen and execute. And, there's been some turnover in the company, just as in any company as the years passed. And I am pretty much one of the more senior leaders now, first line supervisors, and my 2 other managers are just manginas. I mean, manginas to the point that the female executives refer to them as basically bitches and, sister, within kind of like the manager inter corporate chat room. And, again, I wrote this in a post somewhere. I mean, they don't do that crap with me because I kind of just set the tone in terms of that stuff. Plus, the reason I think they can get away with those guys is because they are, basically, the women wear the pants in their family, the one that's married. And the other one is just much younger. And, he is one of those men that, wants to please. But in any case, I felt really great on Wednesday. I felt really great. I felt like, men had gone out there and voted. Not only red pill men, but men like me that were married and, we may or may not have taken the red pill. I took the red pill. But just men out there that deep down inside, are trying to go their own way insofar as you can within the confines of a relationship. And you can't really fully go your way, but just the idea of, you've made it clear to your wife or your woman that you're not her bitch. You do what you have to do. While I think as Red Pill Germany said it best in his most recent video about the results of the election, you're still fulfilling your responsibilities as a husband and father, but you're doing what you want to do. If you want to go see the guys for a weekend, you do that. If you want to have your sports car, you do that. And so I think those two groups of red pill men, and to be honest with you, I think a lot of the closet red pill men, went out there and said, you know what, nobody can see me in the ballot box and pick Trump. To be fair, a lot of women, more than expected anyway, did vote for Trump. These are white suburban women, older women, and, voted for Trump as well. But I felt really good because it was kind of like the big FU to the feministas, the shamers, the SJWs, just all of them, just put them in check, gave them something to pause. And so, kind of, my team knows I'm red pill. They don't know what the term is, but in terms of, they know I'm basically, they know I'm not a Mangino on White Knight. It's clear to them. And they were kind of just like, the election is the election. I told them, everything's going to be okay, but they were just cool with the outcome. They weren't really bothered. But the people in the part of the company, particularly the Canocracy, they're based in, more of a liberal bastion. So they were just irate and, bitching and moaning and cursing. And I said absolutely nothing. I just watched it all in the chat and just felt really good because it was just putting them in check, at least for the time being. And so one of the things I didn't expect was to feel that good, and also to just feel a sense of, oddly enough, some of the good qualities of Trump, like the ability just to speak your mind wherever the pieces may fall, to just really be consistent in what you believe. Now, for those of you who have followed Trump, like I have, back to the 80s, he has been pretty damn consistent in who he is, and who he's about. And I think that people who realize that, it's like, and look, you can dig up, you can Google videos for Trump in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, and you won't find much of a difference. I mean, if any, it's going to be like rays of light in terms of differences, if anything. But, being okay to be able to speak your mind without worrying about, people either shaming you or marginalizing you, and just speaking your mind. And really, and not everybody has this, the power of fuck you money, right? And by that I mean is that you have enough of your own resources and enough control over it that you can tell people fuck you when the situation warrants it, right? And, that's just a freedom a lot of us have, But for those of us that do, you guys know what I'm talking about. There was a time in my life, before marriage and kids, that I had fuck you money, and I acted accordingly. And it really gives you a confidence and understanding, or at least the ability to have the understanding of really the level of greatness and achievement that you can rise to in confidence and just clarity of mind. Because to what a lot of Trump said, you're not beholden to any gatekeepers or power brokers. Obviously, you have the law, but you know what I'm talking about. You're not beholden to, oh, I better do this way, or else my boss might do this, or the people that I'm soliciting funds from for my campaign might do that. You're not beholden to that. You can really live a more authentic existence. And so I know it sounds really weird, but that's part of what the Trump victory kind of reignited in me in terms of my life, since the red pill and moving forward. So anyway, we wait and see. And again, like I've told people, my liberal people, I said, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Anyway, take care, man.